Welcome back, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. We're on Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X. Hit the notification bell. Dad, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, hello. You said you were listening on one of them. In this episode, we expose the madness of Israel trading thousands of prisoners for a few hostages while Hamas carries out executions and the left stays silent on that. We call out Gavin Newsom's radical laws, Prop 50's attack on voter rights, and LA's immigration emergency as Skid Row worsens. We highlight Ilhan Omar and Omar Fateh. Fateh? I don't know. Turning Minneapolis politics into a foreign language socialist rally. React to Kamala Harris smearing Columbus Day, shocker, and cover the latest in transgender activism from declining numbers to protests in school board meetings. President Trump posthumously awarded Charlie Kirk on our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yesterday, I believe. So that was really beautiful. Obviously, his wife accepted it on his behalf. Obviously, the left had nothing but horrible things to say all day about this. Not shocked, but yeah, kind of crazy. The more time goes on, I realize that there's a lot of great people on our side, but I really just don't understand how he was able to just be so intelligent. I literally don't even understand how someone's able to memorize that many things, have that much knowledge and understanding at such a young age. And I think the longer this goes on, the more I just have just so much respect for him. It's unbelievable. So that was really beautiful that happened yesterday. We have Hamas hostage release. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's been watching this pretty closely, unless you're on Blue Sky. Apparently, everyone on Blue Sky has no idea. The Democrat pedophile app. They have no idea this is happening. We break down how Israel was forced to release thousands of prisoners for fewer than 30 hostages, while Hamas continues to brutally execute people in public. Predominant left-wing figures stay silent, even as President Trump is recognized as a peacemaker on the world stage. Israel had to free thousands of prisoners to get less than 30 hostages back. We had I believe it was 20 hostages total? It was 7 the first time, 13 the second time, I believe. 2 different things. And then we got 20 back, and then we gave them back 2,000 prisoners. So, I don't know.
The hostages are not the only ones returning home. It came at a price. Today, Israel freed roughly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners to get their hostages back. The prisoners went to Gaza. Remember, in Israel, they celebrate the return of 20 innocent hostages. In Gaza, they celebrate the return of 2,000 terrorists. Many of them were serving life sentences for killing Israelis. I was there the last time this happened in 2011. Israel traded 1,000 Palestinian militants for 1 captured Israeli soldier. Among those released was Yahya Sinwar, who planned the October 7th attacks. And it would be very easy right now to say there must be another Sinwar in the 2,000 released today. That is easy, and that is probably true, but that's not the most important thing you need to know tonight. In that same release, the Israelis released Wafa, a failed suicide bomber, and sent her back to Gaza. And
Man, the Israelis they really value human life. The other side does not. This is the problem, though. They prey on all of Israel's weaknesses. They know that they would probably give 10,000 prisoners back because that's how much one person means to them. And I'm like, the problem is we just gave them back like 2,000 of these people. And what are they going to do? They're going to immediately do more terrorist attacks and more killing and more suicide and more all these things. That's what's so crazy about this. I mean, the left is like, oh, he came home after being held hostage for 2 years. Or, they're talking about the Palestinians, and they're like, oh, well, what did he do? Why was he held hostage for 2 years? Oh, he blew up a bus with like 10 kids on it. And that's who they're like cheering to come home. And you're like, okay, so that's a little bit different than minding your business at a music festival and getting captured. Those are 2 different things. So we really see the difference in culture there. Okay. No one on Blue Sky is talking about the hostage release. Blue Sky is the left-wing version of Twitter. It's pretty much the pedophile app. That's in 24 hours. It was like, that's what it was. This guy's like, I checked in to see how people are reacting. They're not. They don't care. They're not mentioning it. They're already back at the no King stuff. I was supposed to be working in DC. Mine got canceled because apparently there's no King's protest happening. They're talking about the Epstein files. This is what I don't understand. Democrats love to comment about the Epstein files. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys can't say anything because you sat on those files for years and you never did anything. So you can't say anything. It doesn't work. They're too busy denying Antifa doesn't exist, even though they have like training centers and they're trying to stab us at all these places. And yeah, he's just saying this. He's making a good point. He was like, it is insane the bubble these people live in. And we already know this was never about Palestinians. This was never about freeing them. This was never about ending the war. This was another thing. Democrats were like, put the flag in bio. We're going to call Trump every name in the book. We're going to ruin his president. That's all this was. This is, what is the word for it? It's manufactured. This was another manufactured thing to try to ruin Republicans and Trump's presidency, when in reality, he's just getting us out of war after war after war and doing an incredible job. I mean, Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize, and what did he do? Import Somalians and then like carpet bomb children? So it's like, I think if anyone deserves it, it's Trump by now. We have an image of Hamas carrying out public executions after the deal was done. So that's fun. That's who they are. Kind of crazy. I posted yesterday, I was like, how come all the Free Palestine people had nothing and all the big Democrats, the huge left-wing, evil streamers like Destiny, what's the one that beats his dog, Hassan? And it's so interesting. They had nothing to say about this. And I was like, you guys, they're killing their own people. The people they were killing apparently are the people they suggested were collabing with Israel. And I'm like, okay, so once again, they kill their own people. They don't value human life. This is who, I'm sorry, did we free them from Israel? So imagine we freed them from Israel. What'd they do? Oh, they went back and got publicly executed. Beautiful. We should let them take over Israel. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like Westfield Shopping Center if they manage to take over. Congrats, you guys. Everyone was silent on that. Why are the left-wingers silent on the executions? Well, we know what. Greta, well, she's autistic. She gets the pass. Hassan, oh, that's the journalist one. That's not Hassan. I don't understand. Jubilee's all I know of that guy. Cenk, silent, of course. And of course, she's silent. The loudest person on their side. UN, silent. Media, silent. Yeah, why is that? Is that because they would have to confront who these people really are, what their culture and values are? By the way, this is like the tip of the iceberg. I'm always like, think about what you're seeing. That's just what they're allowing you to see. But I will debunk something really quick. I saw a lot of people jump on X and they were doing the whole, oh, do you notice how the only people released were, because everyone says I'm a shill and I won't criticize Israel and I won't ever be honest. Yes, I will. I'm not getting paid. I'm open. The bank account is open, you guys. They were saying, notice that none of the female hostages came back because they did God knows what, blah, blah, blah. So that little conspiracy is already debunked. Apparently, women and children were part of the first thing the first deal where they gave them back. That is why they only held men. It's not because, did they kill them and slaughter them? Yes, but that was part of the first stage of this. Apparently, that's why no women were there or returned. I just want to try to just rid out a lot of the on the surface conspiracies if we can, because there's so many now and these accounts seem to take over. Because I was quick to be like, yeah, why is that? That's kind of weird. And then someone just showed me information and then I was like, okay, so that's fair. We have an image showing of all the global conflicts Trump has solved. This is what I'm saying. He doesn't deserve a peace prize. Thailand, Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda, Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia, Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. Jesus. Israel and Hamas. So yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, what did Biden have? Ukraine and withdrawal out of Afghanistan? Those are pretty well. He needs some sort of award. I know it'll never happen. They'll give George Floyd's casket an award before they give Trump anything. But I'm just like, come on, you guys, this is insane. Like, we were like, this guy, he's taking us out awards. So we have a video discussing why Trump didn't get the Peace Prize. Shouldn't he have gotten it after solving all these global conflicts? The people who claim they want peace and no war? Yeah, you would think.
All right, Tara, let me bring you in here because you're probably, I would say, the neutral member of the panel in many ways. It does seem there is a double standard about Trump. Nobel Peace Prize, credit for forging peace. I mean, do you think there is a double standard?
I do think, like you said, noted that President Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize in 8 months. It's probably more of a symbol in a lot of ways than what it actually represents. Will this actually lead to peace? I think he should apply again because the application date was around January when he was not even inaugurated. How could he be, how could he put his name forward before he's even president yet? And even in this case, it's a little early days. I think we need to see if there is actual peace. I mean, next week, this could all be broken. As we've said, Hamas has yet to give up its arms. Gaza is still occupied by Israel.
I mean, there's never going to be peace in the Middle East, but what he's done is incredible. Would you guys prefer the war to go on and more people to die and hostages to be held longer? I don't really understand. You guys were the ones screaming that it's a genocide, but then when we stop it, they're like, they don't seem to care. So it wasn't really a genocide. Plus, I'm watching all the videos of them like buying iPhones and there's like food everywhere, and I'm like, okay, doesn't really look like a genocide to me. What, is Destiny okay? I'm like, you went on Piers Morgan and the hair is insane. It looks like he's been pulled out of one of the tunnels, and he looks like one of the hostages. That's actually crazy. Good for him. Just really setting that bar. Really setting that bar low. He looks like a mad scientist. I can't believe people listen to him. We have a video of a protester not happy about the outcome.
What's your opinion on the ceasefire?
Well, I'm just sad that it's over. I just don't know how I'll pay rent without my protesting money. Like, do I need to find a job?
The first comment on it was, all right, now make an AI version of this. I was like, no, this is real. Because, I think this was one of the most biggest financial things that they funded in a while. First, it was the anti-Trump stuff that was going off. The Ukraine stuff, I feel like it didn't get as much motion. I feel like it wasn't as trendy. But this one, I mean, they're dropping off the keffiyehs, they're dropping off the signs, everyone's getting $100. They're in New York, they're here. This one was a very big paying one. So it's going to be tough for these people to have to go back to coffee shops where they made a lot less money a day. So we'll see. We have Skid Row, Newsom, California. We call out Gavin Newsom's radical new bill and expose how Prop 50 strips voters of their rights under the guise of reform. From LA's immigration emergency to the worsening Skid Row crisis and Katie Porter's meltdown, Democrats just keep proving they cannot govern anything, especially my state of California. Gavin Newsom officially signs AB 495 into law, the legalized child kidnapping bill. So this is what I believe we reviewed a week or so on the show when we showed a video of a man and he was like, how are you this just says the kid's the state's now. Anyone can go pick up the kid from school, anyone can sign him out, and what are you going to do about it? Apparently it's completely legal. If you guys don't remember watching that video on the show. This bill destroys parents' rights and allows non-relatives to fill out a one-page form to pick out your kid without your consent. This is what I don't understand. So what's stopping? Well, first of all, you can lie about your name and who you are. I have a feeling just from, I don't know, living real life, watching movies, what's worrisome about this is I feel like there's a lot of dangerous people in the world and random people are going to be checking out kids, whether you have, people in relationships that are going downhill. It's very dangerous and violent, people fighting, crazy relatives. I mean, this is just like, the guy even said it. He was like, this is like child trafficking. Like, why are you guys so in favor of everything that endangers and harms children? And I just think about when I was younger and how insanely hard it was just for my own mom, who they saw every single day for 15 years to come check me out of school. I don't know, guys. It's getting a little shady. It's been a little shady, so we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully more parents are going to start to speak out against this. I don't know. So at the bottom, it says it limits immigration enforcement and data collection. It prohibits schools, daycares, and preschools from gathering immigration status info. what that sounds like to me is they're limiting the information they're getting on the children. Therefore, specifically, the kids that are potentially illegal, wouldn't that just mean making it easier to traffic kids that are illegally in this country? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, which is kind of crazy because, like I said, those open borders under the Biden administration, 300,000 missing children, that's a big business. That's a really big business. If you didn't watch already, James O'Keefe did a great documentary. I think it's called Line in the Sand. I could be incorrect. Talking about how the child trafficking, the border, Mexico, Texas, all this is like the biggest, it's money. It's just pure money. They're making so much money, and this seems to go along with everything else I've seen through the documentary and all this shady stuff we see every day. So that's pretty crazy. It's so funny. They're obsessed with protecting all these immigrants, but they're like, we're also going to make it really easy to traffic them as well. The immigrant children. We have a video of Nancy Pelosi on SB 50. Whatever she says, do the opposite.
And we made a decision to win. And when you make a decision to win, you make every decision in favor of winning. With House Democrats, state legislature, Governor Newsom, and now our former president of the United States with his... The country is depending on California. It's about winning the House, but it's also about our democracy and that.
Yeah, so she's saying the quiet part out loud. She's like, we're going to do this to win more elections. Democracy is on the line. The good news about this is if you have Jen Psaki saying anything, you know she's lying. If you have her talking, you know she's lying because the only thing you can trust her on is which stocks she's trading and all the money she's making. But luckily, this is a good example of whatever they're doing. We're gonna go ahead and do the opposite, you guys. Okay? When's the last time Democrats passed anything and you genuinely think it benefited any part of your life? When did they do anything that wasn't just strictly a grab for power and a grab for money, potentially out of your own pocket? So, how has Jen Psaki had a show? She had a job and couldn't answer questions for how many years? Now she has a show? I'm like, not a lot of talent to choose from over there. Even Obama is stepping in to promote Prop 50 as well. Not sure why he cares so much about California, but this is him talking about it.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks. Prop 50 puts our elections back on a level playing field, preserves independent redistricting over the long term, and lets the people decide. Return your ballot today. Vote yes on 50.
Listening to Democrats talk about rigging elections is rich. Out of all the evidence we've collected over years, even what we're dealing with in California right now, where if you vote no on this and you put your ballot in, it literally says that you voted no on that. I mean, the amount of shady things they do in elections, but what do? I keep saying it. I'm like, anything shady they're doing, they're going to accuse us of doing. And what are they doing? Every single time, it's always the most threatening language. It's democracy's on the line. And I'm like, the people that literally rig elections, steal elections, ban free speech, forced you to put needles in your arms, the same people that made you wear a mask outside, the same people that open your borders, the same people we die at their hands every day. Obama came in and up healthcare. Yes, once again, democracy's on the line. Got it. Sure, guys. We have a video of Los Angeles County officials vote to declare a state of emergency that gives them the power to provide assistance for residents they say have suffered financially from ongoing federal immigration raids.
LA County has declared a state of emergency over the immigration raids. The Board of Supervisors voted today. Board members say the raids are preventing people from going to work and forcing some businesses to close. The emergency allows the board to look at enacting an eviction moratorium and other protections for people impacted by the raids. And this news just coming into our newsroom. Will, of course, continue to follow it.
Oh, it's a car wash I go to. How did I not see this video before this? That's literally... I don't know. Business is still, I was just there the other day, business is booming. So that personally didn't affect them. They got new people. I will say though, how everyone is very reliant on illegals to do a lot of things. I will say, when it comes to anything at your house, they do shit work. I know you can't afford afford the Americans, but the work they do is really, really, really shitty. I don't think people realize, like, Americans can do those jobs. We have enough, like, fat retards in their mom's basements that, like, literally need jobs and have no money. And instead of going online all day, becoming mentally ill, and letting the government, MK Ultra, get a hold of them so one day they can go shoot up a kid's school, I think they would actually be better off in the fields or doing some housework. But that's just me. But car wash is still going, you guys, so fake news. Fake news once again. Well, yeah, that's all we do here. We protect illegals, we take all of our money, we give it to them, we give them benefits, we feel bad for them. And they're like, well, what about the girl that, got stabbed 35 times in the bookstore? And Democrats are like, yeah, well, like, f her. We got to make sure everyone at the car wash feels safe and okay today. And you're just like, well, how does that make any sense? We have a video from Skid Row from an insider. One of the insides.
If you can put a man on the moon, you can clean these streets up. I used to be homeless here at Skid Row, so I know what it's like to live out here on the street.
So this was your first job off the street?
Yeah. A lot of homeless come here to eat. A lot of time they got no money. We end up giving them food.
This place has been like this for over 100 years in one way or another, right?
Right. But every mayor that come in, Garcetti, all of them saying, oh, we're going to fix it. We're going to work on it. They start off trying to fix it, but something is wrong.
Mental health is the underlying issue.
That's the big issue. Until we can address the mental health part of this thing, it's an uphill battle. Anytime you see people walk down the street naked with a machete in their hand, you know it's a problem. They shut down the mental hospitals and they don't put them back out on the street. This is the stuff that I have to deal with. They had a homeless count not long ago, and they said the numbers was going down. We don't believe that the numbers is going down. I had about 150 children living in tents with big old rodents out there. I say, how can we let this condition happen? What happened to humanity in this country?
Someone was killed here yesterday?
Yesterday on the streets here on 5th and Stanford. They stabbed him.
Yeah, no, he's got a point, though. He's like, we can go to the moon, but we can't put people in housing. And when he says the numbers are going down, I think the numbers were going down from fentanyl overdoses and death, from people stabbing each other, dying. The problem is, yeah, all the Democrats, they give the same, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Maybe it goes down a little, maybe it doesn't. Obviously, the numbers show it goes up. My thing is, like, you have two options. We have to have mental hospitals, okay? And people have to go to those mental hospitals, but we can't do the liberal bullshit of, oh my God, it's against human rights. No. You cannot be able to sign yourself out of a mental hospital. That defeats the whole purpose. Crazy people don't know they're f***ing crazy. That's the point. So you can't give a crazy person choices and they're like, oh, well, why would I want to be? No, you have to put them in there, potentially medicate them. It protects them. It protects people around them, okay? The second option is they have to, if there's housing, they have to be clean. They have to do all these things. I think, yes, women and children should be provided for. And then you have to have jails. And the thing is with the jails, you have to be able to keep them in there, okay? Those are the options. The only person I've heard talk about it is Rick Russo. He's like, you can't be on the street, okay? Last night, me and my girlfriend are on a walk. There's a guy sleeping in the middle of the sidewalk. His wheelchair goes out. I run into it and I'm like, Jesus, you guys, like, come on. We can't do this anymore. Okay. It's not working. So there are solutions. And I actually agree. It's a little liberal of me. I would love for all my taxpayer money to go to building prisons, building mental hospitals, and also helping women and children specifically. The problem is these people, like I said, remember last week, it's crackhead Hawaii. They're like, yeah, I get to stab people, shoot up, and then it's all on your dime, okay? So we can't have that anymore. That's not working. But you can make it work. But you know how you make it work? Stop voting in Democrats. We're going to have to vote in a Republican, okay? Even if it was just like slightly better, I'd feel happy. But right now, it's like the worst it's ever been. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. We have a video of Katie Porter She apologizes for her behavior, but refused to say there aren't any other incidents where she has lashed out.
Should California voters feel confident that there aren't any more Katie Porter videos out there?
Well, what I know is that I could have done better in those moments. I'm going to be focused on earning their votes and earning their trust. That's true in every election. I've only ever had tough elections. So I'm absolutely aware that I'm going to have to continue to show them. I'm going to have to answer every question. I'm glad I got to continue that interview and finish that interview and answer all her questions. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, to show Californians not only that I understand their problems, but that I have the will and the strength of character to actually actually get something done about them.
But not just the CBS interview, the interview with the staffer. Can voters be confident that there won't be another one of those videos that's going to come to light?
What I do know is that I could have done better in that situation.
But that's not a no. So is there potentially another video that we're going to see?
Nikki, I'm going to be honest with you. I know that video, and that video was several years ago, as you know, and I apologize to the staffer. That's super important to me, and will continue to try to hold myself to do better. That's what I can promise.
I like how as soon as they're like, I'm going to be honest with you, it's like, you know, they're like literally lying the second she says that. Katie, come on. You're yelling, you're cursing, you're storming out of interviews, you tanked your career in 5 minutes somehow, you're throwing mashed potatoes at your ex-husband, you're telling your daughter she's going to be raped and killed because Trump's the president. I'm like, honey, it's over. It's over. Take a seat. Also, thank you for running. I feel like this gives Republicans a huge advantage. Fantastic. But I like how she's like, I can't say that there's not going to be more crazy shit. There's a lot of crazy shit about you. You're saying there's more? When you guys go into these jobs in the public, don't you think that these things might come out one day? I'm nuts, and I act less crazy when I'm home. I'm not throwing mashed potatoes at my boyfriend that are hot. Like, Jesus Christ, lady, what the is wrong with you? Can't even imagine the shit that happens that's not on camera. We have Ilhan Omar in Minneapolis. This looks like a casting for the next Captain Phillips movie. We shine a light on how Ilhan Omar and Omar Fateh are, I'm just going to say it like that, I don't give a shit, are turning Minneapolis politics into a foreign language socialist movement. Instead of fixing the city or helping citizens, they are proudly prioritizing illegal immigrants and anti-Trump rhetoric. We have a video of Ilhan Omar endorsing another Omar as mayor of Minneapolis.
Well, I'm excited to announce that I will be supporting Senator Fateh for the mayor of the city of Minneapolis.
Our Congresswoman, who I'm really excited to have her support.
And with that, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar put her stamp of approval on a grateful state Senator Omar Fateh, who envisions a city that is more equal.
Minneapolis seems to be a tale of two cities, one for the wealthy and the well-connected, and the rest of everyone else.
The Congresswoman believes the 35-year-old senator, a Democratic socialist, can lead with a progressive agenda.
I have trust in the senator's track record that he will find a way to make sure that we have ordinances, legislation that is passing through that speaks to the desires and the needs of the residents.
What's Fateh's track record? Kidnapping people on cargo ships? What is this? This is insane. All they talk about is like the rich and they want socialism. I'm like, but you guys are getting rich here off of capitalism, supporting socialism. Here's how you know it's a cult, it's a gang, and we're never, unless you vote these people out, it's only going to get worse. You know for a fact she would never endorse a white Christian. That would never happen. They only endorse their own people. It's the playbook. Every week we come here, they get a little power. They put their friends in power. Soon, no one is able to get in power because it's just them at the top. I love, too, the socialism. I'm like, notice how you guys never distribute your own wealth. Notice that. They're like, so what we're going to do is we're going to make the whole city shitty so all the rich people live. And we're going to add some mosques and we're going to get super rich as we do it, as we gaslight all the wealthy people. The wealthy people are the only people that make a city good. We acknowledge that, right? We can have honest conversations here. I'm just wondering, once you guys get a little money, where do you guys go to vacation? Florida? New York? Los Angeles? Oh, no, I'm going to Detroit this weekend. No, I'm going insane in Inglewood this weekend. Rich people are the only reason you want to go to a nice city or go anywhere. No one's like, yeah, we need more poor people and we need things to be shittier here. Only these people believe this shit because they get rich doing it. I just hope we're on the same page about that specifically. So Fateh's rally, not in English, it was a foreign language political ceremony to crown Omar Fateh a Somali-American, we know he looks Somalian, Muslim, and Democratic Socialist as Minneapolis's next mayor. It's a lot of bad things, you guys. We have Somali, Muslim, Democrat, Socialist. 4 things. None of them are good.
Trump marka uu naga sheekaynayo ma yidhaahdo reer hebel iyo reer hebel iyo reer hebel waxa uu yidhaahdaa soomaalida aan dowladda lahayn ninkaan laakiin ilmaha caanahooda u dagaalamayaa waay ani inaa idin sheega miya mise
Just go back to the beginning just for 1 second. I just need you guys to see that. Play it. Jesus. Okay, stop it. We just want to point out there is one random, for sure paid, random white guy at the far right who they just had to add in to make it seem diverse because the rest of them are most likely related and all in on this together. And then we have it's great. We have women in full hijabs. Does this look like America? Oh, we have the white liberal like trans lesbians in the corner, which like the second, and then okay, can we talk about the two farthest sides? This is what we talk about are now. What is it? Horseshoe theory? Is that what I'm talking about? We have the hipster women on the right next to a woman in a full hijab next to her. Do you know how insane that is? Those two existing together is insane. With, by the way, Palestine flags, which is correct. I see no American flags. Palestine flags. With how is this in America? This is so crazy to me. And then the second they get in power, they're gonna like literally behead those white women. So this is great. I'm sure he'll win somehow. So he barely uses any English to campaign, besides for free and immigrants. He knows those two American words because he has to promote his campaign to them.
Alhamdulillah waxaan ka guuleysanay getting things done like tuition free college ama waxaan bilaash dhignay waxbarashada sare getting Uber and Lyft drivers increased wages. Haddana at the city level we can get those same improvements for our dhalinyaro, for our workers, shaqalaha, people that are whether immigrants or undocumented immigrants, providing them opportunities to start a local business.
What's SCTV? Is this like a branch of Al Jazeera? I've never even heard of this. So yeah, he's literally just talking in his home language, except for he knows liberals are stupid enough to be like, yeah, we have white guilt, so we're going to, go for him. And he also said free and immigrants and all these things. He says his top priority as mayor of Minneapolis would be to protecting undocumented residents from Trump's hostile federal government. Not fixing the city, not helping Americans, just helping potentially their own people.
Day one, if you were elected, what would be some of your top 2-3 priorities for the city?
So that's a very good question. So the first I would say would be a hostile federal government with not only Donald Trump in office, but he has essentially a trifecta, both chambers of Congress and the Supreme Court. And a lot of our neighbors, especially our undocumented residents, are very concerned.
You don't have to tell me if someone's Somalian. I know they are by looking at them. That's kind of crazy. Once again, Trump, hostile takeover, answer, when they answer, they just go against Trump. They don't actually say how they would fix anything in the city, or how they even relate to people in the city. Remember, I feel like ads back in the day would be like some white guy and he'd be like, I love my wife and she owns the bakery here and our kids go to school here and we're tired of these roads not being paved and we're going to fix it. And now it's just like, I don't know what this is or what you say. There's nothing I can say that's not racist, to be honest. But I like that they put him in kind of like a white hipster outfit. I thought that was good. They didn't put him in, a suicide vest or something like that. We have an image out of the UK. It says Western culture makes you a terrorist. We guarantee that we are going to see laws like this in the United States if we keep electing these Muslims. If it happened in the UK, it can definitely happen here. So if you are in the UK, you believe your country is being taken over, which it is. Statistically, what is it? By immigrants, 1 rape per hour. That's what they're proud of. That's the new stat coming out of there. They're getting stabbed left and right. There's rape gangs. The cops are in on it. And if you think there's anything wrong with that, you are now a terrorist. Not the people who are, Syrian refugees that are, bombing mosques and stabbing people. It's actually you. And I assume if that's the language they're going to use, that means they're going to start jailing these people as like conspiratorial, extreme right-wing terrorists. So the actual terrorists in your country are not terrorists, but you are if you speak against this. I don't know. This is why you don't give up your guns, man. They really cucked you guys into like the most embarrassing country. I don't really know how you go back from this. If they're all in power and you guys have no power, you don't even have free speech and you don't have weapons. I don't really know what you're going to do, if I'm being quite honest, but good luck. Good luck. We'll keep the news covered. I always wonder, I would like to travel eventually. What? Like, do the rules that apply to you guys there, do they apply if I go there? Because I know, like, if I go to, like, Saudi Arabia or some shit and I'm texting something, they'll probably put me in jail. But I'm like, if I go there and I do my usual shtick I do here, do I go to jail over there? Or do I have different laws because I'm an American? I'm just very curious if you guys want to comment anything about that. We had Columbus Day. Congrats to everyone who celebrated. We react to Kamala Harris's attack on Columbus Day, where she painted explorers as violent invaders. At the same time, left-wing activists vandalize statues and celebrate tearing down America's history, as they do every day. We have a video of Kamala Harris on Columbus Day. European explorers ushered in a wave of devastation, violence, stealing land, and disease.
It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
So what the is she doing for Native communities? I'm so confused. Okay, so what are you doing? First of all, this like, we came in and we like pillaged, blah, blah. Look, shout out to the Native people, and their casinos and everything we do for them. I think it's beautiful. I think the history should be taught. But also, why do we act like they weren't savages? Savages. Like, these were just, like, these normal people who were able to, like, just coexist. I'm like, people forget how those tribes interacted with each other. And I'm like, yeah, they, like, raped and scalped each other. You guys act like white people came in and were the only people. By the way, it's called conquering land. It's called being winners. That's why we're the greatest country on earth. That's why you can come here as a, Black or Indian retarded woman with zero credibility, who I'm pretty sure was like banging a rapper, and somehow become the vice president of the United States of America. You're welcome, Kamala. But I'm like, no, it's called winning. It's so funny. They say that we're on stolen land. Okay, conquered land. That's land. You win it. We're winners. But then I'm like, oh yeah, but you're telling me I'm on stolen land. I'm a colonizer. But the Syrian immigrant who's lived in the UK for 3 months is all of a sudden British. So yeah, tell me how that works to me. It doesn't. We have a video of people throwing paint on Columbus painting in Spain. Yeah, I don't understand. I've been at some of the biggest museums in like New York, London, Paris, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to bring in food, beverages. They check your bags. So I'm like, I don't really understand how these like people were able to get paint inside. And then like also usually in the rooms, there's people standing there. Cause I remember if you even get too close to one, they're screaming at you. But I will say, I think if you do this, life in prison. I swear to God, if you do life in prison for destroying art, which is our history, if you do life in prison, this shit's going to stop overnight. It's not going to be worth it to them. But the problem is, there's not consequences enough for this. But I do think this is like one of the most insane things you can do. We have a Columbus Day meme. Oh God, I saw this video on TikTok. They were refugees looking for a better life, bringing diversity and inclusion. Don't be a bigot. Yeah, I saw this woman made this video on TikTok that had 6 million likes, and it was like Christopher Columbus. You guys are the worst, dude. I don't even know what to say. They do this shit every year, so it's less of a shocking thing. The first 2 years, Democrats, they were taking over and they were doing all this shit and we had to be all woke. But now I'm just at the point where I'm just shut the up. No one cares. Go back to painting feathers or whatever you guys are doing now. No one cares. Go run the casino. You're welcome. You're welcome for all those. We have trans updates, per usual. We highlight how trans identification rates are dropping even as activists push harder than ever, from protests where activists strip at school board meetings to the backlash against women's sports policies. The movement is unraveling, finally. So this is big because this also proves what we've been saying forever. This is a social thing. It's forced down children's throats by their weird liberal parents, schools, Netflix, shows they're watching, movies. It's a social thing. And now it's starting to drop. Also, they should just show these kids when people actually transition and they cut their dicks off and their vaginas, all that. You should just show them a photo of that. They'll never even think about transitioning again. That shit's insane. You're not a woman. You're just a mutilated monster now. Sorry. They should do a documentary on that and they can show the kids hey, if you're really going to do it, why don't you be about that life? And why don't you actually go through with this? And this is how your shit's going to look like. And no one will ever touch you or love you because you're going to look like a monster. Okay? So this is actually good news for once. This was the positive side of it. We have a video of a school board meeting in Maine where 3 activists stripped down to simulate what young girls have to go through in locker rooms with these boys.
They're covered. You feel uncomfortable? Because that's what these young girls feel like when a boy walks into the locker room and starts unchanging in front of them. Yeah, you feel uncomfortable, right? Feel uncomfortable, huh? That's what these young girls feel like every time a young boy changes in front of them. You can look at me like that all you want. That's exactly how they feel. And you, Miss Muffy, I don't know if I stand with girls or if I stand with my with the. So you don't care how young girls feel? You don't care about the safety of young kids? What about what happened in Virginia with that boy that a young girl in a bathroom, then got sent to another school and did it again? What are we going to do when that happens here?
Fantastic. You know what's so funny? He's looking at them and they look probably disturbed or disgusted or whatever. And it's so you're admitting this is weird, you're uncomfortable, and this is disturbing. You guys are literally admitting that just through your facial expressions, but then you're the same people that will go vote for it, which is so crazy because I'm I assume they don't have kids, which if they do, once again, CPS, I really don't understand it at this point because you're just weird. But I'm yeah, no, it's genuinely very weird and uncomfortable. At what point is that okay? So good for him. Good for them for doing that. It's when they're at the school board meetings and they're reading a book and they're you can't read that. It's inappropriate. I'm the adults, it's too inappropriate for the adults, but you'll read it to a kid? Insane. So we have an Arab girl on TikTok compares wearing a burqa to dressing like a nun. And she's what's the difference?
Can I just ask, what's the difference between me wearing this and what a nun wears? What is it?
She thought she really cooked with that one. So these are the top comments from that video, which is giving me a little bit of hope. Someone put, well, nuns don't randomly explode. Fair. A nun chose to wear it. They weren't forced to. A nun is a Christian with no history of terrorism. A nun does not follow Sharia law. Nuns are not screaming for death to the non-believer. Someone said nuns aren't trying to take over our country. When's the last time a nun committed a terrorist act? Good point. And nuns don't wear explosive vests. So I hope we together explain to her what the main difference is, if that makes sense. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back very soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, Spotify, Apple, all the places. All the places you can find me. We are there.